Apothecary Diaries Season 1 Episode 24. I feel like I have to go back and watch the early Lacan episodes again, because this is a surprising characterization. It's very different. I'm also wondering if I missed the fact that Maomao has a missing finger. You did lose. Oh. You've made yourself a powerful and strange enemy. This is not good negotiation. This is not good bartering. Oh, maybe we're going to the apex? The apiary? What was it called? Atrium. Maomao didn't specify who, so I think she's expecting a certain chain of events to run its course. It's possible that Mei likes Lacan. Yeah, that is sort of an issue. But I mean, like, well, if they look like ghost stones, does that mean they're ugly or they're nothing? You can treat her really well. She's always been a friend. She may have always been an admirer. However, there's something else you should probably know. Make the choice with all the knowledge available. Right. Oh boy, there's a world of crazy in that door for you to look on. Oh, we can hear the lullaby. Yeah, I guess he doesn't know. Too late. Mei meddled as the essence of a hero. Sounds like he just stepped on broken glass. Is that what it meant? This is such a crazy, wild rush of emotions. So much at the same time. There's no way to make it right, but there is something really beautiful that can happen here. Would you stop? He's already made his choice. Poor Mei. Deal's a deal. Oh, well then she's gonna be okay with it. You can still play Go. I mean, it is sort of an interesting statement. I don't think it's that he fell in love with her for her beauty, because the face thing, the beauty thing came after that. I think the symbolism of that is that he can only see her because she is somebody who he really loves very deeply for who she is, or for some gift she has that he appreciates, some way in which he feels a deep connection with her, which is her intellect. At least initially. I think after that, it's a lot of other things, just their memories and the relationship they have, the things they've shared. He still sees her like that. Right. Yeah. Okay. And now, it's not based like just on her Go playing abilities, right? That was just the entry point. This is so crazy. How I bought your mother. Now please leave Jinshi alone. It's such a crazy twist. I almost feel a little bit angry at how they set me up with Lacan. I mean, he still strikes me as a creep, but I didn't know he was capable of this sort of depth and humanity and love. Wait, I have to go back and watch that conversation again. There's no way this stacks up. Yeah, this. I wanted to force myself on her. Laughing. This is not the same thing. How do you reconcile these two things? Now, the one explanation I can think of is that this is just a tactic, right? Like I'm just moving my chess pieces, Go pieces, shogi pieces through the emotion of this, which also is not the warmest framing. Another possible generous explanation for how this fits. I think it is a real thing sometimes to try to laugh off your biggest points of shame, inappropriately bragging about things that actually are terrible and you feel they're terrible, but for whatever reason, you're under the impression that people will like this or that it's what's expected of of you. Maybe especially with sexual things, come to think of it, right? Like when you're young with your guy friends, you want to brag about your sexual exploits, perhaps separately from how you feel about them. But I mean, either way, character intentional or not, huge whiplash. It's also really fun to come back and watch this and the next episode with the metalworker stuff after seeing how it all played out. I mean, he's really like, in hindsight, laying it down pretty thick. Hey, how about that metalworker? It would be really weird and dangerous if they were to use that in your ceremonial tool, wink, wink. And Jinshi, like me, was like, huh? What are you talking about? You maybe should check out the ceremonial tool and think about how that relates to the metal that you're investigating. Here's a puzzle for your servant girl. Lacan's whole thing is weird. I mean, in hindsight, what kind of message is that sent to Jinshi? Oh, you'll survive. You'll be fine. Assuming my daughter is who I think she is. But you're expendable in this plot to figure that out. Episode 24, Jinshi and Maomao. This is evil all over the place. This threats all over the place. Who knows? I thought it would be Lacan, but Lacan seems done. Yeah, Babbitt up in private. Yes. And overwhelmed. Tired in many ways. Again. That looks amazing. Except for that thing in the middle. People are complex. Multiple things can be true at once.
こちらとしてはうまく命中させてくれたおかげでここにいますので。
他に言い方はないのか?
Oh, is that what she meant? Oh my god. Very interesting. I also don't think that's mutually exclusive. Weird that I have a personal anecdote for this, but to put it as vaguely as possible, there is somebody in my life, if not for whom I almost certainly wouldn't have been born, but this person now is causing some major heartache for my family, and in my opinion at least, is doing some very clear wrong. And it's hard to know how to reconcile that exactly. I think in cases like this one, although in some ways it feels like it's running against the grain, the more you dive in and dissect it along more detailed levels of analysis, more niched categories, the more it starts to make sense. You know, for example, just a bunch of things. You can be grateful that the person helped you, or for all of their good things that they've done in your life, for all the ways they've contributed, whatever those are, and also hate their worst behaviors. You can simultaneously love someone for who they were in a certain section of time and like hate their actions now. Based on Maomao's interpretation of events, she can hate Lacan for what she feels is his fault, for what happened to her mother, for his abandonment, and he can occupy a special role in her mind and heart even, because he's her biological father and that carries some weight. She can also love or hate him in totality and then choose to either interact with him or avoid him completely. You know what's also sometimes difficult about this is that it's not only that you have to do it, it's that other people will try to paint that image for you, you know? People will tell me that I hate something. And I'm like, okay, I can see how you got there, but I think something's been oversimplified here. I don't actually hate this person, or I don't actually hate this food, or whatever it is. Or, as it often comes up, I don't actually support this politician. I'm just like arguing for various micro points here that people naturally want to put into very broad categories. It can be a little bit infuriating sometimes when people tell you what you hate and what you love, especially if you really place a high priority on being understood and you feel afraid of people misunderstanding you or whatever. It can be a very sensitive thing. Just straight facts. What? Well, yeah, okay. Okay, that too. That's not what I was thinking, but just on the pregnancy, it's not like she can will herself to be pregnant, but she definitely knew the risks. And like narratively, it seems like there was an attempt being made there. This is something I've seen and experienced many times of like when you don't know how to deal with a major issue, but like you're at that breaking point, you'll start to take actions that you haven't fully consciously accepted will sabotage what you're doing, but like you're actually doing it because subconsciously you know it'll sabotage what you're doing. You're playing a kind of sleight of hand with yourself. A very common one is with substances, right? Like you quit a certain substance, but then you find yourself putting yourself in situations where you're going to be heavily pressured to do the substance because like in advance you kind of know you won't be able to overcome that. And I think this is maybe also one of the things that's responsible for cheating in relationships, where people are in a relationship that they really are just not satisfied with for one reason or another, but also they're just super attached and they know what the fallout will be of breaking up. So instead, whoops, you know, I got too drunk and I cheated. And then everything just sort of falls like dominoes in the direction you kind of wanted it to go, but you were too afraid to push it into. So Function, she was obviously experiencing a lot of grief about the path she saw herself on, you know, the bidding war between two people she didn't really care for. Lacan maybe in that moment a way out. Well, he never could beat her in Go, though he could beat her in Shogi. Wow. Here we were thinking that she got her strategic intelligence from Lacan. That's interesting. She's not used to it. Also, she was arrogant. Yeah, what the hell is this? Maomao seems to have all her fingers, so I'm confused. Oh, also, I was thinking back to that event where the courtesan tried to kill the Casanova customer, and like, it has added significance to think about the comparisons Maomao would have been seeing there. But yeah, somebody who's arrogant and thinks of themselves in a certain way, like, for example, I'm able to control people and the way they move. I'm the master strategist. To lose that and to be defeated is pretty crippling and enraging blow. It's why people who think they're really smart will flip out when arguments start to go south for them.
そのせいでずっと苦しんできた。
I wonder what the nature of their relationship
私
is.
と養父の顔だけはしっかりわかるみたい。
Oh, and
お菓子
father
に
too.
執着するのもそれが原因のようです。
The order of that is weird.
パパって呼んでと言われたらどう思いますか？
I shudder at the thought.
自分を父親だと言い張りますが、せいぜい種馬がいいところです。
Yeah, right now, it's just biological.
枯れた装備の意味に気づいただろうか。まあ、わからなければそれでもいい。
Are you sure you're this casual about it? It's a lot. I mean, it's a super crazy, dramatic thing.
両面の娘になれた点だけは感謝しているんです。
That is a healthy place to be, I think, if true, but it's a big if true.
胎児を止めようとしたとき、私はあの男に助けられました。
You were sort of a pawn there,
おそらく
Jinshi.
何か起きることを感じていたんです。
軍師殿があの時は何も知らなかったはずだ。
Think back to the hits. Go back and watch episode 17, Jinshi. He was pretty, like, wink about the whole thing. Yeah, because he not only led you to the metalworkers, but, like, he hinted that it would be interesting or weird if it was used in a ceremonial tool, that specific ceremonial tool. And Jinshi was like, huh, he should know I would never, which was the point.
私のように証拠を集め予測を立てるのではなく、きな臭そうなことを勘で判断して、それをめったに外しません。
That's an interesting power, having a good gut.
もしあの男が表立って動いていれば、今頃蘇りの妙薬が手元にあったか
What a
も
waste
し
of
れない。
talent. I mean, I would say he's done a lot, but maybe not enough.
親父が手放しで褒めるほどなのに、
Wow.
あの男は自分の恵まれた才を分かっていない。
Sounds like admiration there.
味方にはできませんが、敵にしない方がいいでしょうね。
わかった。
I don't want him to be anything. Like, I would like him to just stay away and live in his own world and stop visiting my office. It's funny looking at your parents in that sort of comparative lens, right? Like, you maybe can sense ways you're going to outshine them, but then there's also ways where you're like, yeah, I'm not even going to bother trying with that one. That's just their thing. Like, I'm not going to touch that. I have no hope. I don't know how they do it. I'll never be a fraction of what they're able to do in that. But, you know, good chance your parents feel that way about you, if not more so.
好きで嫌われる父親なんていないと思って。
He says, as a father and a grandfather.
めいめい姉ちゃんから氷が届いた。中には誰が誰に見受けされ
Good,
た
they
か書
filled
か
her
れた手
in.
紙
How do you
と。
feel about this, Maomao? It's sort of a big deal.
私が見受けされるときはちゃんと踊るのよ。
Oddly specific request for someone who doesn't dance, but okay. I guess that's why she wants it. She wants what she can't have.
めいめい姉ちゃんを送りたかったな。誰よりも優しいあの議場。
Why do I suddenly have a terrible feeling for Mei? Are we gonna dance on the wall? Like some sort of insomniac sleepwalker?
瞬く消
Wait, did Mei already get bought out? And this is in her honor because she requested it?
えたのために咲く
Okay, I don't know what to say about the dance. She is indeed dancing. Dancing on that wall. Wait, what happened to Mei? Maybe Mei is just like a placeholder for someone else. Like, I thought this was going to be Mei's dance, but I guess I'm dancing for my mom? I mean, if she's dancing for her mom, that gives it a lot more emotional weight. It's not just like, I'm dancing for no reason. I got this nice dress. Mei just continuously passed over, taking a back seat. I guess that's Mama's point. Mei just consistently second fiddle. I mean, I guess at least the consolation is that she seems to like House Verdigris.
案外覚えているもんだな。
I didn't know you could do that at all. This is terribly embarrassing. Should never have gone up on that wall, man. Finally, he has a reason to touch her. An actual good reason.
ジン様、なんでここにいるんです？
I felt your odd ghost-like dancing.
こっそりやってたつもりだったが。
No, this is a thing here in the palace. Yeah, it's a sensitive issue.
親切な衛兵がお前の顔を知っていて、こちらに話
Your
を通してきたん
servant is
だ。
being weird on the wall.
周りはそう思っていないことは覚えておけ。
御意。
It's dangerous for Mama, especially given her stated goal, just blending in.
花町では見受けされた妓女を見送るとき、他の妓女たちが舞を舞うんです。
Okay, alright.
何ですか？
いや、お前、
Yes.
踊れたんだなと
I
思
think we all are. Though we shouldn't be at this point, because what can't you do?
10日は休むつもりでいるらしい。
実に迷惑ですね。姉の手紙に書いてありました。3日3晩どころか7日7晩宴をするそうです。
So we got 3 days extra.
6召喚の噂ばかりが
This is a pretty
大きくなる。
crazy event.
やり手ババアの思うままだ。
Did she? It's so much more than just a celebration and a goodbye. I mean, it's the end of a dramatic, painful era of their lives for a lot of players in the story. It also feels something like, at least for now, a goodbye from Maomao to her mother, in the sense that, like, I don't think she's gonna visit, you know? Would she willingly go to Lacan's house? Maybe at some point, but I don't think she could stomach that right at this moment. But then there's also some relief in it, maybe for her mom, who's been waiting for Lacan this whole time.
誰を見受けしたんだ？
さあ、誰なんでしょうね。
知っているんだ。
You know.
どんな美女でもジン様にはかないませんよ。
答えになっていない。
I don't think he's interested in anyone in House Verdigris.
とやり手ババアが口止めしていたのだろう。しかし、そんな話はちょっとしたことから漏れていくものだ。
Especially with Mei Mei as your
6週間
surrogate
が
mother.
潰れかけた原因が自分にあること。
Right, it's not to carry, even though it's not your fault at all.
本当にあったことだった。
Oh, there it is. The pinky.
今あるのは歪んだ小指だけだ。
A crooked little finger.
もう私には関係はない。ルオメンの娘として幸せ
It
に
does
なっ
matter
た
though.
のだから。
It's okay that it matters.
指の先って切っても伸びてくるのですよ。
This is...
今言うことか。
Oh, she's actually opening up to him in her weird way, but he doesn't realize. Still? Oh my god.
大丈夫です。すぐ縫いますんで。
Now?
ジン様、縫えます。
ここで縫うな。
Wow, just tucked under. Whoa, that's athletic. You'll break ankles like that. Who is this man? That was quite the display physically.
誰かに見られたらどうするんですか。
Let him look. Let him
どう
see.
せ暗くて見えないだろ。
Well, to take your same advice, you think you're being low profile. She doesn't seem to hate it.
ずっと言いそびれていたことがありました。
Lower your expectations, Jinshi. I want my Oxbuzour. No, don't fall for it, Jinshi.
ご応募く
Yeah,
ださい。
it's Oxbuzour. I knew it. That's amazing. Oh, now she's dead. That was painful. That was painful. He wanted to believe. Now she's gonna think the part that he wants to
止まら
hear.
ないくらいの方が話をしていて気が楽だ。
Their constant miscommunication. It does feel totally different, especially looking back to the beginning. This feels like the end of the season, but I know there's one more episode, right? She got it. Wow, everything was worth it. It all ends well that ends well.
ジンシ様がいらっしゃってるわよ。
No, I already got what I needed. Tell him to leave. I already got my Oxbuzour. Why would I want to see him?
マオマオの物語は始まったばかり。
Yes, it would appear.
次はどんな事件に巻き込まれるのか。
She's gonna become the Empress. That's my wager. Oh, wait, this is the last one. Wait, there's an episode 25. Maomao and Maomao. Episode... Oh, because it's not seasonal. So that was the season finale. And quite the season it was. It feels like forever ago that I watched season 1, even though it was just a short 24 episodes ago. There have just been so many things that happened. One of the coolest things about it that defied my expectations a bit was that even though there are sort of these episodic vignettes, like the woman on the wall and the attempted Casanova murder, these little things here and there, you know, the fish, the salt poisoning, they're good, they're entertaining in themselves. But I can't really think of anything in season 1 that was purposeless, right? It all tied into something much larger. And looking at season 1 as a whole, there was a very intriguing and very poignant story, multiple stories being told here. Now, what's interesting about that is like, how far does that go? Because I think thinking about season 1 as a whole, it largely feeds into Maomao. Who is Maomao? Where does she come from? What makes her tick? What is her pain? What formed the basis of her rationale? Why does she have these skills and these interests? But that almost feels like the origin story, sort of. There's so much more that can happen now that we've established this world, especially because we've established a lot of characters and a lot of things in tandem, like Jinshi and the Emperor, the concubines, and their various eccentricities and intrigues. We still haven't really uncovered fully the whole thing about the Jinshi assassination plot and where that comes in. I mean, we can speculate that someone knows his secret and his possible lineage, which maybe points to a future assassination attempt on the Emperor, which, you know, now we're just conjecturing all the way, but Maomao suddenly becomes extremely important to the Emperor, more so than just saving his girlfriends from poisoning, which puts her basically at the top, which again is the most dangerous place to be, which plays perfectly into that drama of her character of like, you're a flower who wants to blossom, but also that's when you get plucked. Her desire to be in safe obscurity versus her amazing talents. There's a real understated poignancy to the show. I mean, it is one of the difficulties of watching, I think. It can be at times a frustration because as somebody who like often needs things really spelled out for me, it can be a little bit opaque, but then when it hits and when it all connects, it's really powerful, and that ranges in scale and scope. Like, I thought it was really poignant when, I forgot her name, the woman who was dancing on the wall was successful in her plot and then ended up with her lover, and also the pain of learning Feng Xian's backstory and how that applied to Mao Mao. This is an example of something really exciting when, you know, it gives you a lot, but in doing so, it sort of gets you primed for more. You feel like there's a lot more to come. I think what I'm most looking forward to going forward is I think that Jinshi could use the same treatment. You know, he had a very rough start from my perspective. As the show progresses, you sort of see like, oh, this actually is deliberate. It's weirdness because he actually is just incompetent in this way. He's never had to really do it because he's gotten by in his looks. And he actually isn't charming. Like if he was supposed to be charming and that behavior was supposed to be charming from writer to viewer, that would be a little bit off-putting. But instead it's sort of like, no, he actually just is sort of hopeless in this way. And once he drops that and once the audience gets to see behind the mask, he actually seems like a really caring, conscientious person who's like just in sort of a crazy situation a little bit over his head and is trying to make the best of it, which is also Mao Mao. So it makes them a great pairing. Interestingly, Jinshi maybe ends up being some of the more explicit heart out of the pairing. Mao Mao, as much as she tries to deny it and hide it, is very loving, I would argue, but she's not explicit with it, where Jinshi is, you know, he's more of that like needs to say it, needs to hear it kind of person. So there's so much to work with. There's so many tools. I like feel fully sucked into this world. Really looking forward to seeing where they take that in season 2.